Welcome pre-cal students to the homework help video, page 287, 1 through 9 odd. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's start off with numbers 1 and 3. 1 and 3. Notice numbers 1 and 3 have 3 parts, so we're really going to be doing 6 problems for numbers 1 and 3. For this function right here, determine whether x plus 1 is a factor. Okay? For this function right here, determine whether x plus 1 is a factor. So what we have to do is we have to divide x plus 1 into this function and see if it goes in evenly. So here we go. X plus 1 divided into x to the fourth minus 6x cubed plus x squared plus 24x minus 20. And to save me time in the future, I think it'd be really smart if I highlight that and copy that so I can just have it for the next page. Alright, now let's go ahead and continue on. Remember, step 1 says write your divisor and your dividend in standard form. And both of these are written in standard form. Number 2, divide first term into first term. That's going to be step number 2. Well, x goes into x to the fourth, x to the third times. Now I'm not going to write this off to the side for you over and over every time, but remember, if you don't see where this x cubed came from, you take the number inside the box, the term, x to the fourth, and you put it over your outside term, which is x. So you put x to the fourth over x, and then you reduce. Take 1x away from the bottom, take 1x away from the top, and you're left with x cubed. Okay? So you can do that every time if you need to, if you're struggling with understanding how to find this term. Okay, step 3 says multiply the term that you put on top times the divisor. So x cubed times x is x to the fourth, and x cubed times 1 is x cubed. Now we're going to subtract. X to the fourth minus x to the fourth, they cancel. Now be careful here. Negative 6 minus x, negative 6 minus x is negative 7x cubed. And then what I recommend is bringing down all the rest of your terms. That's how I do it. I just bring everything down. And then we'll just continue on, okay? We'll do it again. So divide your first term into your first term. X goes into negative 7x cubed, negative 7x squared times. Negative 7x times x is negative 7x cubed, and negative 7x squared times 1 is negative 7x squared. Alright, here we go. Let's subtract. Negative 7 minus a negative 7, those would cancel. There's a positive 1 here, so positive 1 minus a negative 7. That would make your negative 7 positive. So you really have 8x squared plus 24x minus 20. And now we divide first term into first term. X goes into 8x squared, 8x times. 8x times x is 8x squared. 8x times 1 is 8x. We're going to subtract 8 minus 8, those cancel. 24 minus 8 would be 16x. And let's see here. No, that's wrong. That would be... Yes, that's correct. 24 minus 8 would be 16x. Bring down your negative 20. And now let's continue on. And you can see right away it's not going to come out even, so you can stop now if you wanted to, but that's fine. We'll finish it. X goes into 16x 16 times. 16 times x is 16x. 16 times 1 is 16. You can see you're going to have a remainder. You'll have a remainder of 28. Negative 12 minus 16, negative 28. Okay? And you know you're finished because, I mean, there's nothing else to bring down. So you're finished. And so you have a remainder of negative 28. Okay? Okay, so the answer is no. Let's go on to the part B here. Alright, now we're going to divide part B, x minus 2. And you have the answers in front of you. It's supposed to come out even. Let's see if it does, okay? Alright, so we're going to divide x minus 2 into this function, and we're going to see if this is a factor. Both of these are already written in standard form, so we're ready to use our other steps. Divide first term into first term. X goes into x to the fourth, x cubed times, now we multiply, x cubed times x to the fourth, x cubed times negative 2 is negative 2x cubed. We're going to subtract. These cancel. Negative 6 minus a negative 2. That makes that a positive 2. So we're left with negative 4x cubed. I would encourage you to go ahead and bring all the rest of your terms down. Divide first term into first term. X would go into negative 4x cubed, negative 4x squared times. Negative 4x squared times x is negative 4x cubed, and negative 4x squared times negative 2 is a positive 8x squared, and this should be a squared here. There we go. And so now we're going to subtract. Negative 4 minus a negative 4, they cancel. There's a 1 right here. 1 minus 8 would be negative 7x squared. Bring down your other terms. X goes into negative 7x squared, negative 7x times. Negative 7x times x would be negative 7x squared. Negative 7x times negative 2 would be a positive 14x. We're going to subtract. Negative 7 minus a negative 7, they would cancel. 24 minus 14 is going to be 10. And then bring down your negative 20. And then x goes into 10x, a positive 10 times. 10 times x is 10x. 10 times negative 2 is negative 20. And now we're going to subtract. 10 minus 10, they cancel. Negative 20 minus a negative 20 makes that positive, they cancel. So yes, x minus 2 is a factor. It did go into this polynomial function evenly. Okay, very good. Moving on to part C. Alright, now we're going to divide x plus 5. I'm going to go a little faster now. X plus 5 into this polynomial function. Both of these are written in standard form, so we're good there. And now we'll divide first term into first term. X goes into x to the fourth, x cubed times. Do your multiplication, you would get an x to the fourth here and a positive 5x cubed here. Do your subtraction, these would cancel. Negative 6 minus 5, negative 11. And then I encourage you to go ahead and bring all your terms down. That's how I do it. That way you know when you're completely finished, okay? X goes into a negative 11x cubed, negative 11x squared times. If you do your multiplication, you get a negative 11x cubed, and you get a negative 55x squared. Alright, let's do our subtraction. Negative 11 minus a negative cancels. You have a 1 right here. 1 minus a negative 55 is really 1 plus 55, so we have 56x squared. Bring down the rest of your terms. And x would go into 56x squared. 56x times. 56 times x is 56x squared. And 56x times 5 would be 280. 280x. Alright? We're going to subtract. These cancel. 24 minus 280 would be a negative 260, 256. And I'm going to stop right there. There is a little bit of common sense we can use. I mean, there's no way you're going to have to put x would go into negative 256x, negative 256 times. When you take negative 256 times 5, you're going to get like 1,000 over here. And the only way you wouldn't get a remainder is if you had negative 256x minus 20. And then you would get a remainder of 0. And that's obviously not going to happen. You're not going to have a negative 20 right here. You're going to have like 1,000. Okay, so we're done. We know the answer is no. And that's all they asked us to do. You can stop when you realize that the divisor is not going to be a factor of the dividend. Okay, let me get a drink here and we'll continue on. Okay, let's take a look now at these three divisors they've given us. We'll start off with letter A. We're going to divide x minus 4 into x cubed minus 2x squared minus 11x plus 12. Let me very quickly copy this so we have it. For the next page is coming up, and here we go. Both of these are written in standard form, so we're all good there. Divide first term into first term, you would get x squared. Take your x squared and multiply it through, you would get x cubed minus 8x squared. Now we're going to subtract. These cancel. Negative 2 minus a negative 8 makes it a positive 8. That would be 6x squared. Bring down your negative 11x and your positive 12. Divide first term into first term and you'll get 6x. 6x times x is 6x squared. 6x times negative 4 is negative 24x. Alright. And I'm wondering if I made a mistake somewhere because this should come out even. Let's see what happens here. I'm not seeing it come out even. Yep, sorry guys, made a mistake way up here, and I'm glad I caught that mistake. I apologize. Again, if we were in class, you would just raise your hand and say, hey, Mr. Arrett, you made a mistake. And I do apologize. X squared times negative 4 is negative 4x squared. Not quite sure why I put an 8. So negative 2 minus a negative 4, that's a positive 4. You would have a 2x squared minus 11x. And now let's continue on. X would go into 2x squared 2x times. So this 6 right here would not be there. 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times negative 4 is negative 8x. Now let's subtract. 2 minus 2 cancels. Negative 11 minus a negative 8 makes it a positive 8, so that's a negative 3x. And then bring down your positive 12. And let's see, x goes in negative 3x, and negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Negative 3 times negative 4 is a positive 12. And now we're going to subtract. Negative 3 minus a negative 3, they cancel. 12 minus 12, they cancel. So yes, x plus 4, or x minus 4, is a factor of this dividend right here. Okay? It did go in evenly. There was no remainder. All right, let's continue on to part B. Okay, we're going to divide x minus 3 into this dividend. Here we go. Both expressions are written in standard form. X goes into x cubed, x squared times. X squared times x is x cubed. X squared times negative 3 is negative 3x squared. Let's go ahead and subtract. X cubed minus x cubed, they cancel. Negative 2, watch your signs, minus a negative 3. That's a positive 3, so you end up with a 1x squared. X goes into x squared x times. Take your x and multiply it through. You would get x squared minus 3x. Now we're going to subtract. 1 minus 1, they cancel. Negative 11 minus a negative 3, that's a positive 3, so you would get a negative 8x. And then x goes into negative 8x, negative 8 times. Take your negative 8, do your multiplication. You would get negative 8x plus 24. And obviously you will get a remainder. You will get negative 12 if you take 12 minus 24. So no, x minus 3 is not a factor of this function right here. It did not go in evenly. And then lastly, for this part of the homework assignment, part C, we're going to divide in x minus 1. So let's go pretty fast here. We should get a yes out, so it should come out even. X goes into x cubed, x squared times, do your multiplication, x squared minus x cubed minus x squared. These cancel. Negative 2 minus the negative 1. Negative 2 minus the minus. It's a positive 1, so you're left with negative 1 x squared. Bring your other terms down, and here we go. X goes into negative 1x squared, negative x times x is negative x squared. Negative x times negative 1 is positive x. Now we do our subtraction. Negative 1 minus a negative, these would cancel. Now watch here, negative 11 minus x, there's a 1 here. So negative 11 minus 1, that's negative 12. And then x goes into negative 12x, negative 12 times. Negative 12 times x, negative 12x. And negative 12 times negative 1 is a positive 12. If you subtract those, negative 12 minus a negative 12, they cancel, and 12 minus 12, they cancel. So yes, x minus 1 is a factor of this expression. Okay? Now, if you'll take a look at numbers 5, 7, and 9, the directions can be amazingly confusing. So listen to me carefully and I'll explain them, okay? The directions to you. In each of the following, a polynomial px and a divisor dx are given. So this is going to be our divisor right here, okay? And we're going to divide that into our polynomial p of x. Use lone division to find the quotient and the remainder. And then it says this. Are you ready? It says the bottom of the directions, they want you to write your answer in this form. d of x times q of x plus r of x. Now, we went over that in your notes. All they're saying here is they want you to take your divisor times your quotient, like I taught you to do, and then add the remainder. And that's all they want you to do in the answer. I'll show you in the end, but we did this in the homework, in the notes. It's not too difficult, okay? So we're going to take x plus 2, excuse me, and we're going to divide it into x cubed minus 8. Now here we go. This is written in standard form, so we're good. This is written in standard form, so we're good. Divide first term into first term, that would be x squared. X squared times x is x cubed. Now be careful here. X squared times 2 is 2x squared. You don't want to put 2x squared right here because 8 is not an x squared term. So don't do that, okay? You want to slide it over like I've taught you to do. You want to put it off to the side here and then continue on, okay? Now, let's subtract. So x cubed minus x cubed, those cancel. There's really a 0 here. Negative 8 minus 0 is negative 8. And then we have a 0 here. 0 minus 2 is negative 2. Now you could put the negative 2x squared here, but that would be wrong. Remember, I told you, you always want these expressions right here to be written in standard form. So you really want the x squared, the negative 2x squared, to come first, okay? Now let's continue on. X goes into negative 2x squared, negative 2x times. Negative 2x times x would be negative 2x squared, and negative 2x times 2 would be negative 4x. So I'm going to write that off to the side over here, negative 4x. Okay, let's subtract. These cancel. There's really a 0 here and a 0 here. Negative 8 minus 0 is negative 8. And then 0 minus a negative 4 would be plus 4x. I'm going to put that in the front because I want to write it in standard form. Okay? Now, x goes into 4x 4 times. 4 times x is 4x. 4 times 2 is 8. Subtract 4 minus 4, they cancel. Now be careful, negative 8 minus 8. Negative 8 minus 8 is a negative 16. Okay? And so here's how they want you to write your answer. They want you to take your divisor, which is x plus 2, and then they want you to write the quotient, okay, but which would be x squared minus 2x plus 4. And then you add your remainder, which is a positive plus a negative 16. Now, I mean, I'm not going to take points off, but it's really unorthodox to put plus minus 16. So what I would recommend is you just put negative 16 like this, because plus negative means negative 16. And then what I taught you to do was then to go ahead in your notes, I said go ahead and put equals x cubed minus 8. Now I'm going to show you later in the chapter why I want you to do that, but here in the directions they didn't care if you put the equals part, so that's fine. They just wanted you to write your answer like this. And so that's what we did. Pretty simple, okay? Moving on to number 7. All right, let's slide these up a little bit. That's a positive 18. And here we go. Let's divide. By the way, this is the next to last problem, so we're almost finished. X plus 9 goes into x cubed plus 6x squared minus 25x plus 18. And here we go. This is written in standard form. This is written in standard form. So we're good to go. X goes into x cubed, x squared times x, x cubed, x squared times 9, 9x squared. We're going to subtract. These cancel. 6 minus 9 is a negative 3x squared. Bring down all of your other terms. And here we go. This is written in standard form, so we're good. X goes into negative 3x squared, negative 3x times. Do your multiplication. You will get negative 3x squared minus 27x. All right? We're going to subtract. 3 minus a negative 3 cancels. Negative 25 minus a negative 27, that's a positive 27. So you would get 2x plus 18. X would go into 2x 2 times. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 9 is 18. Subtract. 2 minus 2 cancels. 18 minus 18 cancels. So we have a remainder of 0. Now in this case, you don't have to put plus 0. I think in the book they did. So they took their divisor, x plus 9, and they multiplied it times x squared minus 3x plus 2, and then they put plus 0 for the remainder, and that's fine. You don't have to put the plus 0 if you don't want to. Okay? And now moving on to number 9. And here we go. Both of these are written in standard form, so we're good there. We're going to divide first term into first term. X goes into x to the 4th, x cubed times. Do your multiplication, and you'll get x to the 4th. Now look at this. This is weird. You're going to get 2x cubed, and there's no x cubed. So come over here and write your 2x cubed off to the end, okay? Now let's do our subtraction. X to the 4th minus x to the 4th, those cancel. There's really zeros here, okay? So negative 2 x squared minus 0 is negative 2x squared. 3 minus 0 is a positive 3. Now be careful, there's a 0 here. 0 minus 2. 0 minus 2. That's negative 2x cubed. I would not put that right here. I would put it right over here. Because remember, you want this expression to be written in standard form. Okay? Alright, let's continue on. Now, x would go into negative 2x cubed, negative 2x squared times. Let's do your multiplication. You would get negative 2x cubed, and you would get negative 4x squared. Let's subtract. And if we subtract correctly, negative 2 minus a negative 2, those cancel. Negative 2 minus a negative 4, that's a positive 4. That gives you 2x squared. And then bring down your positive 3. And now here we go. X goes into 2x squared 2 times. And let's see here. 2 times x no, let's see, x would go into 2x squared 2x times, yeah. So 2x times x is 2x squared, and 2x times 2 would be 4x. Now you don't want to put your 4x here because 3 does not have an x with it, so we're going to put 4x over here off to the side. Now let's subtract. 2 minus 2, those cancel, there's really a 0 here. 3 minus 0 is 3, there's really a 0 here. 0 minus 4, that's a negative 4x, and I would put that right here, okay? Because you want to write this part right here in standard form. And now let's go ahead and divide. X would go into negative 4x, negative 4 times. Okay, negative 4 times x is negative 4x, and negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. And now let's go ahead and subtract. Negative 4 minus a negative 4, those cancel. 3 minus a negative 8, that makes it a positive 8. That's going to give you 11 for your remainder. Okay, so here's how you write your answer. X plus 2, that's your divisor, times your quotient, and your quotient is no, that won't work. Oh, maybe it will. Your quotient is here. And then squeeze your remainder in, plus 11. All right, so there we go. I hope this homework help video has been a help to you. Call or email if you have any questions. Please continue to work hard. And again, I hope this has been a help to you.